Split mode is a new feature unique to Yamaha's DM7 series of digital mixers. Let's find out who it's for, what it does, and how to use it. If you're an experienced sound engineer or operator, you may have sometimes struggled to mix two tasks at the same time. Perhaps because of a personnel shortage, a shortage of equipment, or a shortage of space. Split mode is for you, allowing one person to use one physical mixer for two separate tasks. Or, of course, with the larger DM7 equipped with two fader bays, or with StageMix on an iPad, it would be simple for two people to use one screen each for quite separate mixing jobs. And it avoids interfering with each other's scene memories, mix buses, effects, and plugins. Perhaps a live stream mix needs to be made at the same time as in-house sound for a live audience. Or a monitor mix needs to be made for the performers on stage using the same mixer as that for the front of house sound. Split mode makes this easy by dividing all the mixer resources into half, creating two distinct virtual consoles, each with their own set of scene memories, custom fader layers. So on the smaller DM7 Compact, you will end up with two virtual mixers of 36 input channels each, while the larger DM7 with two bays will provide 60 input channels to each side. So let's see where to find split mode. In the utility screen, touch the home icon, then open the system menu. Touch unit mode and you will see a choice of default or split. Default is, of course, the usual choice with the full resources of the mixer always available. While if you touch split, it will reveal how the channels, groups, racks, and banks will be shared between virtual consoles A and B. See how it's all split half and half, with each side equipped with 12 DCA groups, 6 mute groups, 32 channels of auto mixing, 2 premium racks which will provide 32 units of special reverb, delay, EQ and dynamics processing, 8 effects units for additional effects, 16 units for 32 channels of 8-band parametric EQ or Flex 15 graphic EQ, and 2 sets of custom fader banks which will provide 10 layers for the left and center bays. Not shown here, but each virtual console also gets its own set of scene memories. The default mode provides 500 scene memories, and it's the same for split mode. There are 500 scene memories to be shared between each side, though this is a flexible shared resource. So, if side A uses 400 scenes, there would be 100 remaining for side B to use. The only variable option with split mode is the mix bus assignment, which can be weighted in favor of side A or side B, with 12 for one and 36 for the other side. This is useful when one side is required to mix a lot of stereo in-ear monitors, for example. Before touching Apply, consider whether you need to save the existing scenes and settings for future use. All the scenes from default mode will be inaccessible while the console is in split mode. They will remain hidden until a console is returned to default mode. So they could be used again later, but it's better to back up the data to a USB memory anyway. Because of the different bus setups, scenes cannot be transferred between split and default modes. Also bear in mind that scenes cannot be transferred between split modes that have different mix bus counts. At least the channel libraries and effect libraries can be transferred between modes by saving and loading via USB drive, so not everything has to be started from zero. But do bear in mind that you must decide which mode to use before starting to create your scenes. So let's touch apply and allow a moment for the console to reboot into the new mode. The first thing you're likely to notice is the color coding on the screens. A blue color across the top indicates that you are working on split side A, while an orange color indicates split side B. See how easy it is to change sides by touching the top left corner of a bay screen. You could also program a user-defined key or a GPI input for that purpose. Look on the meter bridge to confirm the channels that you have access to: inputs, outputs, and DCAs. See that all 12 matrix buses and both stereo buses are accessible from both sides A and B. Though by default, side A input channels route to stereo A, while side B inputs route to stereo B. Anyway, some agreement is needed amongst the users for how to handle the matrix and the stereo output channels. To get you started, without confusion, all the matrix and stereo buses are recall safe in side B. So only the scene memories of side A will recall these output settings. Of course, you can change that later if you wish. Think about how to use the monitor and cue buses too. In split mode, when a side A channel is cued, it appears on cue A. And when a side B channel is cued, it appears on cue B. However, by default, the matrix buses are assigned only to cue A, though that can be changed in the cue settings. Also by default, monitor A is assigned to the only headphone port. It can be switched to monitor B quite easily in the monitor menu and the phones window, or monitor B can be patched to an Omni output where an external headphone amp can be attached. Control connections such as MIDI and GPI can be assigned to features on either split side A or B. All output patches are available from either side. And when trying to patch something that's already assigned, you'll be warned and given the chance to cancel or proceed. Of course, with input patching, the same inputs can be patched to input channels on both side A and B at the same time. And remember, the sequential patch shortcut is there to make tasks easier. Once you're ready, store a scene for each side and get programming for your two purposes. Scene store and recall are completely independent for each side, though there is a scene link function if you do wish to recall a scene on each split side at the same time. If you are using the 2-bay DM7, you can show a different side on each bay. Open the Setup menu and the User Setup window. Then select Preference, open the Surface Settings and split the link. That then gives you a good visibility on both sides at the same time. On the smaller DM7 Compact, you can only see one side at a time on the actual console. Though you could connect the DM7 editor software and choose to view the other side on the computer screen. The DM7 editor has the same GUI as the console screens, so it's like having an additional bay. To run DM7 editor online, it has to be in the same unit mode with the same mix bus selection as the console. So you need to set that before being able to synchronize. For remote control while walking around a venue or site, the DM7 StageMix iPad app is ideal. What's more, you can run two instances with one console at the same time, allowing one for side A and one for side B. When you open the app, the Select Mixer window allows you to also select side A or B when the console is in split mode. If you want to switch sides later, take the app offline, select the other side, and reconnect. Likewise, when a personal monitor controller is needed, use Monitor Mix on iOS or Android. Up to 48 devices can be online with each console, and again, when first connecting to a console in split mode, you can select side A or B and then select the individual mix or matrix, send to control. It's all just as convenient and easy as it's ever been. Run all instances of Monitor Mix on the same side or split it with several on side A and some on side B. As you can see, it's just like working with two separate, smaller consoles while only taking up the physical space of one. Because of the large amount of channel and processing resources DM7 series includes to start with, each side in split mode is not short of power. Let's look in the rack menu and see that each side is better equipped than a CL5 with 32 units of premium processing, 8 units of effects and 16 units of EQ, plus 32 channels of Dugan Auto Mixer accessed from the input channels. I'm sure you can see that split mode saves you space, time, energy, and money. Enjoy the feature set, the flexibility, and the fantastic quality of sound that DM7 series brings to all kinds of live, broadcast, and recorded productions. And look out for my other vlogs and training videos to help you do more with DM7 series.